So I thought it would be more helpful to kind of show you how I go about doing a health check on settings. So we'll just do one together. So I start from the top and I go through, go down. And typically you're just looking to see if stuff passes the sniff test. All this is, you know, not a huge deal. I'll go on the certificate authorities. And you just want to kind of bounce into the sections, right? So this doesn't really matter. So we'll go to we'll take a look at the template, for example. See if this stuff makes sense, right? You know, you would think, yeah, you want to make sure you're revoking certs. You want to make sure that you're including the SID, which is good best practice, renewal. Like, it's mostly about just do things past the sniff test. So, like, you would look at and make sure your certs look good for ACC. Make sure all the proper services are enabled, like, you know, SMTP, what have you. So it's really more about, like, you want to kind of bounce through this stuff, use the eyes, because a lot of them will give you information. And then every now and then, if you have stuff that you run into and you don't really understand what it means, you can do something as well. So you see, I'll go to advanced. This talks about automatic disablement. We've got custom attributes. So like maybe I'll go to groups and see like so maybe I don't really get what that tooltip means. So I'll go into, you know, auto update friendly name, Workspace 1. So maybe you just Google it so you can get their documentation on it. And see, you'll find documentation kind of where it says, you know, set device friendly name. It says, you know, it's good to how it points out it's only applicable for devices with iOS 8 or greater to supervise. You know, kind of like stuff like that. And that's actually not the right setting. But the system settings reference manual gives you a lot of this kind of information when you're trying to do research and seeing, you know, how should this stuff actually be set. And that's kind of a lot of the focus there, is you want to take a look at and see what you're trying to do and seeing if you're doing things the right way. There we go, there's our groups and settings. And so you just kind of look at it and you see, do these things make sense? And you just continue on and on, right? You know, make sure, you know, okay, we're using SSL. You got into your tunnel settings, see how do those look. It's just about expanding every single item, looking at it, seeing does this make sense? And then maybe doing a little bit of research. And a lot of this is going to kind of come down to experience. And as you get more experience, you'll come to learn and understand what some of these things mean and kind of what are good best practices. And as you baseline it yourself, you'll use that information, you know, when you build out customers' environments, and potentially even do things like forklift your entire best practice scenario to new environments for your customers.